Welcome to Massive Beers. My name is Matt, and we do beer stuff here. Extremely exhausting weekend. Not in a bad way, in a good way. Basically, hung out with my son all weekend. My wife needed a break, needed a little bit of R&R, so I basically took my son for almost 24/7 the whole weekend, and well, fantastic. The dude is quite exhausting. So it is Sunday, I think it's like the 15th or 16th of October. It's a beautiful fall day, as you can see behind me. The sky is beautiful. The temperature is, mid-50s, just about perfect for me. Sitting outside here, watching a little bit of football. All my kind of the big beers or aged beers I brought back from Beer Tube Blues I keep in my bar and fridge. I'm sitting out here and I'm having a beer and I'm like, what? Let me review something. I don't know anything that big. I forgot I got this. This is a Smuttwater collab with Stillwater Artisanal Ales. I picked this up actually at Westmere Brewing in Baltimore. This is their Smuttwater 1.0. This is a decently old beer. It's 7.2% bottle conditioned Hoppy Farmouse style beer with Brett. Hoppy. Probably not going to stand the test of time there, but you're talking about a bottle conditioned Brett beer that was brewed on the 4th of 2015. If you're talking about a 7-year-old farmhouse beer brewed with Brett, the label's all messed up. It's like little kind of corners are messed up. Everything's kind of whatever. Survived Beer Tube Blues. I figured it's just about perfect beer for today. Where did I put? I grabbed a wrench as a bottle opener because I don't know where a bottle opener is. Someone actually just made fun of me. They're like, someone who's never watched the channel before, obviously. It was like, so you review beers on YouTube and you forgot a bottle opener. It's kind of my deal. Anyway, let's see. Man, it's hurt my finger. You really got hurt my finger like that. Yeah. Anything's a bottle opener if you try hard enough. That's what I say. So, with my fan on over there, probably you can hear that, so I apologize. So yeah, the last times I had a Smuttwater beer, it was a long time. It probably was their apple brandy beer. It was like a little itty bitty barrel aged distillate thing. Now, label it's alright. It's what kind of Stillwater used to do. It's kind of, LED kind of volume pattern thing. They were, Brian Strumke is like a DJ, stuff like that, so it kind of makes sense. So. But it's actually put out by Smuttynose. Pre changing hands Smuttynose. Very pungent, very tart, almost like apple cider nose from a distance. As far as this beer goes, you can see it's a very soft, hazy, not like no particulate, soft carbonation, nice beautiful head on it, a bit over the index finger, just off white head. There's this right kind of bright straw color look to it. It looks all the part of what you'd expect like a farmhousey beer to look like. You're very much like orchard driven, very much Venice driven, very much like white grapey, little bit of apple going on. So, for me, the Brett's kind of coming off as more of that kind of more fruity, appley, grapiness kind of to it. A little bit of ghost hops passed in there, but there's this nice sweetness on top of it too. So it's not just this tart kind of over time kind of thing. Not much as far as any kind of perceptual oxidation on the nose. It really comes off as a bright, acidic, tart kind of farmhouse style beer. Let's dive in. Cheers, y'all. Very large, a lively carbonation. It's really cool caramelized apple kind of thing going on. A lot of times with the apple notes, you can definitely be like, okay, that's kind of an off flavor kind of apple. I think it's definitely kind of like a yeast Brett kind of combination. That's why it's coming off apple. And you get this kind of soft, it's not watery, a little bit beefier than that, kind of, but it's not like dense kind of caramel thing. I believe that's kind of your age over time with your ABV. What it says 7.2. It's not a big beer, but you get some of those more richer, sweeter kind of caramel notes that you tend to get with an aged beer. So you almost get this caramelized, caramel-covered apple kind of thing going on. It's a really, like, effervescent champagne, like, sprightly carbonation on it. It's at a bottle condition. And it's been doing its job over time. This is way more desserty than I thought it would be, just because of that combination of that caramel and that apple. There's a decent bittering to it. You can tell that hopping that they did at original maybe came off a little bit different, obviously, because it's been 7 years. But it's kind of adds this kind of bittering finish to it that lingers on your palate. That kind of checks that little desserty note that I was talking about. So you get that kind of caramelized apple, you get that apple, that green apple in a good way with that caramel, but then it's kind of just zapped away by the way the bitterness and the dryness of the Brett kind of play in tandem, play in concert, kind of bring down that sweetness and kind of end the beer. So it's like caramel, apple, fun, bitter, done. Kind of that thing going on. I like it. Has it seen better days? Probably. But I enjoy it for what it is. I'm glad I picked it up. Let's put it that way. Man, that carbonation. This is probably, I'm team carb. Like, if anything, I want stuff to lean heavy carb, or heavier, higher than proper. That's the better way to put it. I'd rather a little bit high than a little bit low. A little bit over carb there, even for this guy. When you get these kind of aged beers, it's almost like, oh man, there's still carbonation here. And this beer is like, holy crap. I wonder what this beer was like fresh. It probably popped out of the bottle, but it's retained itself too, so good seal on that cap. Which is weird, because I do get an oxidative note to it, probably because it was just not filled all the way to tippy top, or just time in general. And that beer kind of charting over on itself. But I mean, the carbonation is insane. In a fun way. Like I said, I thought in a perfect world it would be a little bit less. It's almost like the beer almost evaporates. That's how aggressive the carbonation is while you drink it. Well, it's fun. Fun, kind of, just a fun beer, you know? Just kind of have something like this. Sit out here and kind of try to decompress from a very fun, long, but rewarding weekend. It was cool. I like it. I dig it. I think it's fun. I actually forget what I paid for this. I think I might have got this for close to, like, you know what I mean? Like single digits. Like, by that I mean like $10 or less, or $9.99 or less, I should say. Maybe a little bit more. It wasn't expensive. I wouldn't have picked it up if it was. Taking a flyer on something like this. But I like it. I think it's fun. I don't think it's like overly like complex and like they hit the nail on the head with this super ageable thing. And I think a lot of people drink this going, I'm not a big fan of it. But just the combination of the bread and two breweries that really know how to make beer, and seeing, Stillwater as, infancy, pretty much 2015. I don't know when they started. It couldn't have been much, much longer than that. And Smuttynose, which was kind of like old hat in the game, and still owned by the same owners back then, kind of collabing up on something like this. I think maybe Stroking did maybe some beers out of Smat Labs for a bit. Maybe that's where this was born and bred from. But biplane flying around up, we have one airport close to me, so that's common. But yeah, it's a fun beer for a pretty damn beautiful afternoon. Yeah, there you go. Age-wise, like I said, it's probably seen better days, but I think it's a fun get. If you were to see this on, a shelf somewhere for $10 or less, you dig on kind of old beer, especially like kind of like farmhousey stuff and Brett in general, it's a fun pickup. I think it'd be worth it. And I think it could, with the carbonation going the way it is and whatnot, I think it actually has a little bit more life to it. Might change into something worse, but fun nonetheless. Just saying, old beer's fun. If you dig it, you'll dig it. So there you go. That's all I got for you. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hope to see you next time. Cheers, y'all.